Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Addicted to Angling. My name is Matt. I'm an all-round angler. I do everything from beach fishing in the sea, through to carp fishing in lakes, general course fishing, and sometimes I even go out on a boat as well to try and catch some fish. Bit of a different video for you tonight. I've just finished work. I've got half a pound of rag to use up left over from a match at the weekend, so I'm going to use that up tonight. 2 or 3 hours, see if I can get some fish out. I'm going to go really super light tactics. I'll show you all them when I get down on the beach. But first things first, I am at the Regal fish bar in Felixstowe to grab my tea. I'm going to grab myself cod, chips, curry sauce, and I will meet you on the beach in a minute with my dinner. I'll tell you how good it is because I'm going to give a little review of the fish bars from now on. That's going to be a new thing in my videos. Every time I go somewhere, even if it's a McDonald's or something like that, I'll give you my thoughts on different types of foods when we go fishing. But that's the Regal fish bar. I'm Matt Crow. This is Felixstowe. Let's go fishing. And as if by magic, I am down on the beach. Haven't even put my rods out yet. Absolutely starving. Well, like I say, just went to the Regal fish bar in Felixstowe. Probably my favourite fish and chip shop in Felixstowe, to be honest with you. I got medium cod and chips. Quite a nice sized bit of cod there. 11 quid. With 2 cans of Diet Coke as well. Looks absolutely delicious. Crispy batter. And these have been wrapped up for about 10 minutes. Haven't sweated too much. Plenty of salt and vinegar. Chips are absolutely fantastic. That chip, absolutely spot on. And the fish, like I say, oh, that is lovely. Beautiful bit of cod that is. Flaky, well cooked. Oh, delicious. Has got a lot of salt and vinegar on it. I do like my salt and vinegar. Not soggy, lovely and hot. Like I say, crispy batter, skin on. Some people don't like the skin on, but I don't mind it. All in all, fantastic fish and chips. I'll definitely give this a 9 out of 10. If you're ever down Felixstowe, fancy fish and chips, definitely look out for the Regal fish bar as you're walking around. Right, I'm going to eat this, and once I've got this eaten, it's game time. Beach ledgering rods going out, super light tactics, see if we can get anything tonight, you know, pout, whiting, anything like that, just something to try and tally up some fish and just see what we can get. Just to use up some bait. Right, I'm going to tuck into this. I'll see you in a minute. Right, and there we have it. Finally set up, finally ready to cast in. As you can see, tactics wise tonight, scratching down super light tackle, gone down to a 30-pound snood, down to 9-pound hook length, size 6 hooks. See what we can get out, just scratch about, use the rest of this up. Ragworm is only half a pound here, so it shouldn't take too long to use. I reckon probably about 2 or 3 hour session, to be honest with you. But if I now walk away, you might realise you can still hear me, which is mainly because I've gone and bought myself a wireless microphone. Simple little plop out with this, nothing too serious. Literally flick it out. Not very far at all. Haven't gone too light on the leads. I wanted to go down to 65 gram, but I've held that off at 105, mainly because there's a slight lump on the sea. I don't want to fish too far out, to be honest with you, because there might be a sole about. I'd love to see if I can get a sole tonight, to be honest with you. If not, there should be pouting, whiting. Might even pick up a doggy, you never know, which would be great fun on this tackle because this is super light, but we'll see. Like I say, that's out. I'm now going to sort out all my area because it is a little bit messy. Get myself nice and tidy. I like to keep myself tidy when I'm fishing, you know. Clean area, no mess, keeps it on top form. So I'll come back to you in a little while. I hope this has basically worked with the new mic. We'll soon find out if I have to dub over this. But right, first cast out, couple of hours, using up ragworm. Let's get it on. Right, that's first cast. It's been in 10 minutes. I've had some pretty violent bites, to be honest with you. Haven't connected with no weight yet. Winding down to the sea. Get down close as I can. There's some weight there. Not much. I'm guessing maybe a little whiting, maybe a pouting. Oh, now it's getting heavy. Now it's entering the surf. Let's see what we got. I reckon it's a little whiting. What we got? Yep. Little whiting to start with. Can't grumble at that. Flicked it out, bait's gone already. Probably crabs around or have a whiting taking a go, having a go at the bait. But there we have it. Tiny little whiting to start. I knew there'd be a few of them around, but fish is a fish. Be nice to get some different species. I'm gonna get this one unhooked, throw it back. I ain't gonna give it a close up with the camera because there's no need to. And see what else we can get. Well, hello, that didn't take long to catch a fish at all. Yes, it was only a little whiting, but there's fish out there. I know for a fact there is little thornbacks and big thornbacks around. You know, if I hook a big thornback on this tonight, that'll be epic. Don't think I will though, I'm not fishing out far enough for them. I'm literally just fishing close in, like I say, scratching around. If you don't know what scratching is, it's not where you've got an itch and you're sitting on the beach itching it away. Scratching is literally fine tactics when you don't mind what you catch. You know, you're out just to get fish, you're not out for a species, you're not out to catch a big fish, you're out to catch absolutely anything. And to be honest with you, when you're scratching, that is what can happen. You can catch absolutely anything because it's tiny hooks. I'm on size 6s tonight. Size 6s, little bit of ragworm, like I say, very light hook lengths. Little rolling lead. Of course, when you're scratching, use a rolling lead because it can roll around, it can search, you can find out the areas, you know, where the fish are. You could be casting with a grip lead, you could just be sitting in an area. I know it sounds silly because fish move and it's the sea. I've got another bite again. Fish move, it's the sea, you know, but with a rolling lead, you're covering that area, you're finding the fish. Yet again, as per, I'm on the Tucanas. Like I say, I could have gone super light tonight. I was looking at 65 grams, but I decided to go 105, mainly because, like I say, there is a lump to the sea. There is a slight swell coming in with a 65. It's fairly shallow, the tide's going out. That lump will be going deeper in the water, which means it'll be moving that lead, it'll be moving that leg closer in, because obviously as the tide comes in, I have definitely got a bite. I'd say that's another little whiting though. You know, you don't want to get washed out. So that 105 is holding nicely. It is moving around in the tide. The tip does keep moving slowly around, so I'm slackening it off. But like I say, first cast, one whiting. I really hope we get some different species. That is what I'm aiming for. But who knows? You know, it's fishing. Anything can happen in fishing, you know, it really can. You just don't know what is going to happen next. But like I say, that tip keeps tiny little taps. Nothing banging around or anything like that, so I'd say it's a tiny little pin white and having a go at it. But you never know, could get rockling, like I say, you could get basslets, could get, oh, basslets, I call them basslets, little bass, but a lot of people call them schoolies. Sole, that is the ultimate target tonight. If I can get a sole, I'll be very happy because it is still early in the season for them. They normally come in more when it's a lot warmer, when you have a lot more, you know, when the ground is heated up on the humid nights, normally June, July, August sort of time. This round here is where we get them. And I will be taking you out on some sole fishing sessions with me because those are one of my favourite fish to target. Using different rigs, different tactics. We will just see if we can get them. But like I say, there's another bite developing on there. So hopefully I'll come back to you in a minute and I will have another fish on camera for you. Right, a second cast, and I am getting knocks. Question is, are those knocks fish? Or are those knocks waves, crabs, etc, etc? Because I am using super light tactics. Let's have a look. There's a little bit of weight there. Not a lot, but there is some mayweed as well, which is never a good sign. In fact, there's quite a lot of mayweed coming out, which is not nice, but hey ho, it is what it is. What are we saying this is? Another little whiting, do you reckon? If there's anything there, I don't even think there's nothing there now. I think that may have come off, whatever it was. Yeah, that come off. That's a shame, but hey ho, is what it is. Another cast out. Get rid of that blooming mayweed off of the lead knot as well. Another cast out. See if we can get something on this next cast. Where am I fishing? Like I say, I'm fishing at a place called Felixstowe in Suffolk. I just dropped into the seafront, front of the arcades, or near to the arcades anyway, and the tide at the minute is ebbing. Now, it's not the best state of tide for down here at all. It's going to be low tide, probably not fairly soon. I think it's going to be low tide around about 10 o'clock, something like that, maybe 9 o'clock. So I'm fishing over low, which is never the best. But like I say, it's just time to get out. Finished work today, decided to come down here, see if I could get some fish out, have a little dabble. No point throwing that ragworm away because it's half a pound of rag sitting there. I'd rather use it up down here, even if I catch nothing. Like I say, there's a little bit of weed about as well, which you'd expect for this time of year, to be honest with you. It's going to start getting broken up, and May rot will start to be about soon, which will obviously put a dampener on the beach fishing. If you don't know what May rot is, it's like an algal bloom that grows in the water and it dies off and it goes a brown, nasty, murky colour, and it's the stinky, sticky stuff you get on your line. And sometimes when you're fishing in it, the fish don't want to be around it, you know, the fish don't really want to be in it, and it can just clog up your line, clog up your leader knot, and it can sometimes make fishing very difficult in the months of April, May, June, depending how long it stays for. It's always nice to have a big storm in amongst them times, because if it is, sorry I keep looking up and watching my rod tip, because if the May rot is about, a big storm will break it up, you know. The more it gets broken up, the more it disappears, the more it gets dispersed and will just disappear off in the tide. But it's lovely down there. There's a few people walking around, seen a few little doggos. I do like seeing doggos when I'm fishing. Always nice, unless they're eating your bait, in which case it's not nice, but you know, I'm a bit of a dog lover, so I always say hello to them whenever they walk past. But surprisingly enough, there's no sea chickens about. There's a few flying around out to sea, but I haven't got any sitting around me. I haven't had any come over while I was eating my fish and chips. No, don't get me wrong, there's a few down there, but sometimes in the summer, it's like they know, you know? Sea chickens know when people are about, and as soon as they see lots of people, this place will be flooded with them. They'll be coming up to you, know, squawking away, trying to get a chip off you, trying to nick your ice cream, etc., etc. It is quite funny, but yeah, sea chickens, not my cup of tea. I don't know if you've ever caught one, but I've actually had one tangled in my line before. That stunk. You know, it was trying to get my eyes, it was trying to get my hands. I had to grab it really tightly around the side and unwrap it, and then I just threw it in the air and it flew off of its mate, squawking away at me. God knows what it was saying. It was probably some expletive seagull language, probably calling me all the names under the sun that seagulls can call people. But yeah, luckily it hasn't happened lately, but we'll carry on. Like I say, this cast's been out a little while, it's been soaking, but I haven't even seen a rattle on it. So next cast, I'm going to try and put out a little bit further. Like I say, tide is going out and ebbing, which, like I say, it means the tide's going, so it will start shallowing off here quite close in. But even though it's shallow in the summer, you can normally pick up fish, so we'll see. We'll see. Bass love it shallow, sole don't care about being shallow, flounder don't care about being shallow. The whitings obviously don't care about it being shallow, because there is some about already, because I've had one. So we'll see, but I'll come back in a little while and hopefully I'll have a fish for you. I'm getting some pretty positive indications this cast. It has been banging around quite a bit. There were some pretty violent bites to start with. Not dogfish or anything like that, but we'll soon see if there's anything there. Like to hold it a bit. Yeah, there's some weight there. There is some weight there. As long as it's not weed, which I don't think it will be. Where I'm standing now, it sort of drops down a little bit, you know. It is low tide, or coming up to low tide. There is a little bit of weight here. It is a light rod though, got to remember that. Interesting to see what this is. Another little whiting, I reckon. What we got? Yeah, tiny little whiting. Another little sea locust, but a fish is a fish. Like I say, it's using up the bait. That bait could have been thrown away, but I'm catching fish. Would like something a bit different though. Hey ho. They keep coming on the bottom hook as well, which is quite interesting. Shows they're down in the water. Second fish, little whiting. get this one took off, thrown back, and we'll get the bait back out and see what we can get. Well, it's not fishing as well as what I would have hoped, but that's the spur of the moment sessions for you at the end of the day. You just never know. You know, when you get a little spare moment to come out, it's just nice to get out and actually fish, no matter regardless, depending on what happens. You know, I've still got time. I mean, it's only 8 o'clock. Probably give it another hour and a half so I can get home and get a shower, get into bed at a good time, to be honest with you, because I've got work at 5:30 in the morning. There's not much lump in it. There's a bit of southeasterly, like I say. There's a little bit of a chilly wind, but I'd have still thought there would have been fish out there. Well, hey-ho, like I say, it's just nice to be on the beach. I love being on the beach. Rain, shine, wind, you know, I love being on the beach, just trying to catch a fish. And the hounds will be here soon, which is always a massive plus to me. I can't wait for them to turn up. I really am chomping at the bit. They'll be here soon. So I reckon next big set of tides, I reckon they'll be coming through. They're offshore already, little way, so yeah, they'll be here. But like I say, it is what it is. It's going to keep fishing. I'm really hoping to get a different species to a whiting for you. You know, that is my target. Anything different to a whiting, because a whiting is a whiting at the end of the day. That is probably weed. For a second there, I was hoping that rod was literally just going to keep going and the rest was going to start moving, because that would have meant a ray would have picked up my bait. But hey ho, let's crack on. Let's keep going. Let's see if this next hour and a half can produce. I'll tell you something, that wind is getting cold now. Really cold. Don't think there's anything on here. I had no bites or nothing like that, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be devoid of fish. There's definitely some weed about though. Like I say, a little bit of mayweed starting to come through on the tip. No weight there at all. One thing I will say, when you're fishing, I see a lot of people do it, which, you know, isn't my thing. When they wind in from the top of the beach and they drag their hooks across the shingle, you're blunting your hooks. I always walk down to the water's edge, wind in from there and lift it up out of the water. Yes, when it's in the water, it's dragging across the substrate on the bottom, but you're dragging it across shingle, you've got no lubrication from the water, you're just blunting your hooks, and that could be the difference between a hooked fish and a missed fish. But I'm gonna get this baited up, cast it back out, probably give it a little while longer, too little white, and it's not great, but fish are fish, and we'll see what we can do. I think the time is past, so you got 2 hours till low, hour and a half till low. I ain't gonna hang it out much longer, to be honest with you. It's cold. I've tried out my new microphone, which is all I wanted to do as well, really. Got a little video put together, nothing great, but it's a video at the end of the day, and it is the realities of fishing. It won't be long until some species are here. May is literally just around the corner. Like I say, hounds, soles, everything else will turn up as well, which is very good, especially for this coast. The hounds and the rays in the summer are all we get. We don't get no taupe, really. We don't get anything sort of like you get down south. No undulates, not really any blondes. Blondes are a very rare catch. No small-eyeds, no spotteds. It's literally thornbacks and hounds. And if you want to go for the smaller fish, then you can obviously go LRF and get some cork ring wrasse out. We don't really get ballons around here. Cork wings have really only turned up in the last, well, I say in the last few years. They've been here a while, but they're a rare catch. You've got to know exactly where to go to get them. But I'll be doing a session on them in the summer as well, because I know the perfect spot around here where you can get them. And the male cork wings are an absolutely stunning fish. So I'll probably reel this in, have one more cast, and we'll take it from there. Well, that's it. I'm calling it a night. It's now just gone 9 o'clock, about an hour before low. not getting any bites or anything, you know, not even on a scratching. And if there's small fish out there, full fish there, I know full well I'll at least be getting rattles, signals of a fish, even if they can't attack or swallow the bait, you know, they'd still be picking at the end of the ragworm. You'd still be getting taps on the rod tip. I reeled in a crab as well, so, you know, they're out in force. As I said earlier, the bait was disappearing quite quick. So, anyway, it weren't the greatest of sessions, but I've achieved two things. I've managed to use up the rest of my bait, and I've managed to try out my new wireless microphone, which is what I wanted to do, and I'm going to post the video up. If you like the video, please subscribe, please like, please share, etc, etc. It's just one of them things that helps the channel to grow. And also, if you subscribe, it doesn't cost a thing. You will also get signals every time I release a new video. You will obviously receive a notification on your YouTube to say I've released one. So there will be more coming, as always say every video, there will be more coming. Sorry they're not as in sequence as I'd like. You know, I'd like to release one a week, but unfortunately, you know, I'm a big boy. I've got family, I've got work commitments, you know, fishing doesn't come first for me. My family and everything else does. I just get out as and when I can. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave that there. You take care of yourselves, and I will see you by the water very soon.